Congratulations on the purchase of your new Tormek machine, the original water-cooled sharpening system from Sweden. I've had a Tormek machine in my workshop for well over 20 years, and it's this combination of speed and accuracy that continues to impress me even after all this time. So I'm sure it'll meet all your sharpening needs for many years to come. So, to help you get the most out of your Tormek, I'm going to guide you through the initial setup and then give you a brief introduction to the system and its features along with a few useful tips. So let's get started. After unpacking the box, the first thing to do is to mount the grindstone, and this is dead easy thanks to the easy lock nut. Remember though that the nut is left-handed, so unscrew it by turning clockwise. Remove the packing sleeve and then slide on the stone. Tighten the nut by turning it anti-clockwise by hand. That's all you have to do. It will automatically tighten to the correct torque when you switch on the machine. If you need to remove the stone, just turn it clockwise while you hold the shaft stationary using the honing wheel. The easy lock nut will then automatically loosen. This leather honing wheel is already mounted when you unpack your machine. I'm actually just going to take it off to show you the rubber drive wheel. During transport, or if the machine has been idle for a long time, a film may develop on the surface of the rubber, and this can affect the efficiency of the drive. It can also occur under warmer climate conditions, or if the surface becomes coated with fine wood dust. In these cases, freshen up the surface by holding some coarse abrasive paper on the wheel just for a few seconds as it's revolving. When you remount the honing wheel, make sure that the pins locate into the holes on the drive wheel. You'll hear a click when it's in the right position, but you can also double check on the inside of the honing wheel where you'll see the pins through the holes. When it's new, the surface of the honing wheel has to be impregnated with oil to soften the leather and also to help the honing compound to penetrate. So, as the wheel spins, add some of the included oil. You'll need about half of the tube. You could also use some light machine oil, something like sewing machine oil. Then, with the machine switched off, apply a thin bead of the honing compound all around the wheel, rotating it by hand. Work this into the surface of the wheel by starting it up and then pressing on gently with a flat tool. The leather will gradually become more and more supple with subsequent applications of compound. Place the water trough in the sharpening position and you can then start filling it. So, start the machine up and pour in water until you reach the maximum level inside the trough. You'll be amazed how quickly it disappears, so keep refilling it until the stone cannot absorb any more. You'll need at least 0.6 of a litre if the stone is initially dry. The stone must run in water at all times when you're sharpening, so keep an eye on the level as you work and top it up if necessary. A real advantage of the Tormek water-cooled sharpening system is that no sparks are produced and that all the steel particles are washed down into the trough by the water. When you've finished sharpening, let the steel particles sink to the bottom of the trough before you empty the water to avoid blocking up your sink. Now, a few tips for using the system. For a start, you need to get the machine at a comfortable working height on a firm and flat surface. You need to be able to work with your shoulders nice and relaxed. A working height of 65 to 70 centimeters off the floor seems to suit most people. I use the Tormek sharpening station, but anything with the right height and a flat surface will do. And thanks to the rubber feet, the machine always remains steady and doesn't need to be fixed to the workbench. The machine has no front or back. You can sharpen both with the stone running away from the edge or towards the edge. It all depends on the type of tool you're sharpening. Generally though, sharpening towards the edge gives you faster steel removal and a smaller burr. But for some tools, it's recommended to sharpen away from the edge for better control. If you're not sure, check the handbook for the type of tool you want to sharpen. But please note, for honing, the wheel should always run away from you or the tool will get caught in the leather. A really useful accessory is this rotating base. Just look how easy this makes it to alternate between the different directions, and it automatically locks in the right position. This standard Tormek original grindstone performs perfectly. It's been developed to combine the properties of efficient steel removal, a smooth surface finish and long stone life. But make sure to use the stone grader regularly to keep the stone fresh and free cutting. About 20 seconds is all it takes to clean the surface. Alternatively, you can use the fine side to transform the stone to a finer grade for an equally finer finish. And you can feel the difference just by touch. In a minute, you can watch individual videos for all the different jigs and accessories, so be sure to check those out. There's very little to do in the way of maintenance with your T4, but always lower the water trough when you're not using the machine. Otherwise, you'll end up with a discoloured line across the stone. Clean water will always give you the best sharpening result. Depending on the tools you're sharpening, the stone might become uneven after some use. You can simply correct this using the Tormek truing tool. If your machine's in the workshop, it's as well to protect it from dust with the proper machine cover. It's very important that moisture is not trapped inside. So the Tormek cover is 100% cotton and breathable. The T4 will stand a lot of handling. We still recommend you don't store the machine in an enclosed space or outside if it's damp, and don't store it where there's a risk of freezing the water in the stone or it could break. There's very little in the workshop that you can't sharpen on a Tormek. Here is just a selection of tools, all of them razor sharp and a pleasure to use. I really hope you'll enjoy using your Tormek as much as I do. Good luck, take care, stay sharp.